Did you hear about the blind carpenter? He picked up the hammer and saw. Today I found out that Bill Burr's son is a carpenter. His name is Tim. Tim Burr. I hired a carpenter, but she'll only work on the walls, ceiling joists, door frames, and windows. Apparently floors are beneath her. You know why you never see carpenters do stand-up comedy? 'Cause their performances are always very wooden. My dad always said when one door closes, another door opens. He was a great man, but a terrible carpenter. My wife and I have taken up woodworking. My mate said he didn't know we were carpenters. I said, we've only just begun. Judge to carpenter, you were arrested during a drugs bust in a gambling den. What were you doing there? Making a bolt for the door, Your Honor. What did the carpenter say when he finished building his house? Nailed it. What kind of nails do carpenters hate to hammer? Fingernails. I told my carpenter not to carpet my steps. He gave me a blank stare. Did you hear about the carpenter who refused to bring any washers, bolts, or screws to a job? It was just totally nuts. Why couldn't the carpenter and the lumberjack get along? They saw things differently. I used to know a carpenter that accidentally sat on a table saw. It's a shame. He used to do really good work, now everything he does is half-assed. How did the carpenter know his wood was cut in half? He saw it. Son, you should be like a carpenter building stairs. Always think one step ahead. How do carpenters get certified? They take a board exam. I asked the carpenter for an estimate for a full-size statue of Babe Ruth. He quoted $50. I said that seems a bit cheap. Are you sure? He said it's just a ballpark figure. I could never be a freelance carpenter and make my own hours. I don't have nearly enough shelf discipline. What did the carpenter say as they were being arrested? I was framed. Two carpenters were competing to see who could build the fastest staircase. They got into an all-out staring contest. What do bakers, carpenters, and horses have in common? They all like a good grain. Finally arranged for a carpenter to come look at my porch. He was pretty busy, but said he would work me in. How does a carpenter catch a taxi? He makes a cabinet. People are usually shocked when they find out I'm not a very good electrician. What did the electrician's boss say when he came late to work? Why are you insulate? Why did the electrician fall in love with every girl he met? Because he couldn't resist her. I was once kissed by an electrician's daughter. I was shocked. I used to date a girlfriend that worked as an electrician, but my sister didn't approve of her. She would call her an homewrecker. Why do dwarves make great electricians? Because many hands make light work. What do electricians hire for their bachelor parties? Wire strippers. Why should you trust dating advice from a bad electrician? They know how to make sparks fly. After getting on well chatting online, I was late for my date with a female electrician. By the time I got there, the spark had gone. What was the electrician convicted of? Battery. An electrician got fired from his job. The news was quite shocking. What's an electrician's favorite movie? Bulb Fiction. Who is an electrician's favorite philosopher? Alan Watts. It must be difficult being an electrician. They have to strip to make ends meet. Being an electrician really wasn't the career I wanted. But I still went to work every day with a conduit attitude. Where do electricians get their supplies? Home Depot. What do you call a detective electrician? Sherlock Holmes. I asked an electrician to fix an electrical issue at my house. He refused. What's a plumber's least favorite vegetable? Leeks. What did the witches call in the plumber for? Double, double, Toilet trouble. I could never be a plumber. It's too hard watching your life's work go down the drain. You guys hear about the depressed plumber? He's going through a lot of crap right now. My wife says I should have been a plumber. Makes sense to me as I'm always taking her crap. I told my plumber that I got a leak in my sink. He said, "Go ahead." I'm not judging. A plumber friend who works exclusively for the Queen of England asks me why I won't play poker with him. I said it's because he's always getting the royal flushes. What do you call a Greek plumber with no ears? It doesn't matter, he won't hear you. What is a plumber's least favorite shoe? Clogs. My son wanted to become a plumber. However, his plans were nothing more than a pipe drain. My mom had plumbers stop at the house to fix the drain. They made so much noise. She told them to pipe down. Why was the plumber so good at karaoke? Because he really had the pipes for it. I feel bad for plumbers who install those fancy water heaters that hang on the wall. It's a thankless job. I kept telling my interviewers that I'm not a plumber, but they offered me the job anyway. It took a long time to let that sink in. How do plumbers get out of fights? They tap out. Why don't snowboarders make good plumbers? Because they only know about half pipes. What do plumbers experience in their sleep? Pipe dreams. What did the plumber say when he wanted poker? It's better to have a flush than a full house. I woke up this morning with a tap on my door. I hired the world's worst plumber. The urinals were broken at my dad's work. He had to walk a long distance to go to the bathroom. When the plumber came and informed him the urinals were fixed, my dad told him I'm relieved. Being a plumber and out of work because of the lockdown, I've started my own vegetable patch. It's going really well and I've just noticed my first leak. Stay tuned for more dad jokes after this short intermission. My brother just broke the record by downing 22 Russian jets in Ukraine. He'll forever be remembered as the worst mechanic in the Russian Air Force. The mechanic asked me if I've ever rotated my tires. How does he think I got here? My car's airbags went off today and the mechanic told me they're going to be expensive to replace due to inflation. I asked my mechanic how he became such a car guy. He told me that he was raised catalytic, but he converted. Hear the one about the mechanic who didn't wash before bed. He woke up oily in the morning. It's so cool my daughter wants to be a car mechanic, but I feel I must warn her. It can be exhausting work. What do you call an Amish guy with his arm up a horse's butt? A mechanic. I took my car to a mechanic and now it only goes backwards. He reverse engineered it. The car mechanic told me, "You can pick up your car at 5 p.m. I said, "I don't think I'll be strong enough by then." I took my car to the shop the other day and the mechanic stole both of my front calipers. When I confronted him about it, he said, "Hey man, I was told I'm allowed to take 2 breaks a day." Why could the mechanic not become an actor? He couldn't get the parts. Told my car mechanic that I hear a low hiss coming from the front wheel and I may have gotten a flat. He told me I hit the nail right on the head. I thought being an airline mechanic would be hard, but it's plain and simple. I saw a mechanic fixing the tailpipe of a car. It looked exhausting. I tried dating a mechanic. The breakup was really wrenching. What gave the mechanic a new perspective? He had an auto body experience. Did I ever tell you about the hard-working mechanic who had to push his car 5 miles on its hubcaps? He was tireless. I got an art history degree but ended up being a mechanic. I had a customer who loved that I made their van go, but hated it when I talked their ear off. I'm a mechanic and went to my son's classroom to talk about my job for career day. The kids were really interested, but all the questions were exhausting. What do an airport mechanic and an NFL team doctor have in common? They're both paid to fix broken jets. When I was in the mafia, I was working as a welder on the side. One day, I accidentally welded 2 crucifixes together. My boss is going to be so mad when he finds out about this double cross. I studied geology in college, but ended up working as a welder. You could say I was into rock, but now I'm more of a metalhead. There's this World War II story about a real-life welder who single-handedly repaired a U.S. Navy destroyer that was about to sink in the Pacific Ocean. Just goes to show that truth is sadder than fiction. Why did the underwater welder get fired? Because he doesn't work well under pressure. What do a frog working as a welder say? Rivet, rivet, rivet. I just finished a novel with a welder as the main character. He had a brilliant arc. My sister fell in love with a welder. She got burned. Is a good welder considered as an archangel? My dwarven friend is a welder and he knows only the mending cantrip. He can barely make ends meet. The welder's motto: we all make mistakes, but we just need to solder on. What crime do blacksmiths most commonly get charged with? Forgery. I bought a dog from a blacksmith once. As soon as I got home, it made a bolt for the door. Watched a blacksmith pick up a molten hot ingot with his bare hands. Asked him what his trick was. He laughed and said, pick him up by the corners. They're only 90 degrees. Went for an interview at a blacksmith's yesterday and he asked me, are you any good at shoeing horses? I answered, no, but I once told a donkey to get lost. Never trust a blacksmith. All of their work is forged. Why are blacksmiths so flatulent? Whoever smelt it, dealt it. My therapist told me to become a blacksmith. She told me that I need to forge some new relationships. A blacksmith doesn't care if he's giving you a headache. In fact, he'll tell you that the best thing for a headache is an anvil. Don't drink with a blacksmith's wife. You're liable to get hammered. I need someone to repair the stone wall in the front of my house, but I don't have a lot of money. Incidentally, Freemasons are not what they sound like. I once worked as a stonemason but got the sack because I put the wrong name on a headstone. That was a grave mistake. Why did the stonemason break up with the con artist? He was taken for granted. What do you get when you cross a mason and a detective? Concrete evidence. We had to kick the mason off our basketball team. He kept throwing bricks. What did the mason say when his wife left him? It hit me like a ton of bricks. What does a mason read in his spare time? The wallpaper. What do you call a glass container filled with jelly that builds cathedrals? A mason jar. The all-women's roofer convention is going to be held in my hometown this weekend. All the shingle ladies will be there. I was convinced to join a dating app for roofers like me. Supposedly there's hot shingles in my area. I want to dedicate this dad joke to my father, who is a roofer. So Dad, if you are up there, have a great relationship with my roofer. It was built on trust. My roofer surprised me and replaced my roof for free. He said it was on the house. Why don't roofers like getting married? Because they prefer the shingle life. I got my dog a new job today. He's going to be working as a roofer. Have you heard Beyoncé's new track dedicated to Scottish roofers? All the shingle laddies. What did the roofer do after he got fired? He went to the bar to get hammered. Why did one roofer throw the other roofer off the roof? He caught him eavesdropping. A roofer never prefers the former. He always prefers the latter. What's a Spanish roofer's favorite piece of equipment? Underlay, underlay. Hired a handyman to do some odd jobs around the house. He did every other thing on the list. I wanted a job I could do while stoned, so I got one as a handyman at an apartment complex. Now I'm high maintenance. Know what they call a handyman in France? A jack of all trades. My wife said I'm a lousy and inept handyman. So I read a how-to book and fixed all our electrical problems. I think she's going to be in for a big shock. I'm Montgomery Jones. We're on a mission to spread the laughs and groans far and wide, so please do us a favor and share just one of these jokes with your family and friends today. Thanks. Looking for more dad joke humor to share? Then subscribe to our new weekly email newsletter. It's our weekly roundup of the best dad jokes, memes, and humor for you to enjoy. Spread the laughs and groans and sign up today. Check the sign up link in the show notes page or visit dailydadjokespodcast.com. The Daily Dad Jokes Podcast is produced by Classic Studios. See the show notes page for social media links and joke credits. This show was recorded in front of a canned studio audience.